Good morning, good evening, and good night. Thank you for joining us again on today's edition of the Slyy Report. Today, we'll be talking about One Piece, chapter 1097. Let's get started. We start this chapter 8 years after the God Valley incident, 30 years from the present day of the story. We have a young Kuma, 17 years old, Guinea, 21, and at the tender age of 17, Kuma, the Reverend, is officially a pastor, doing the work of Nika, liberating the elderly from their pains and ailments every Sunday. Yes, Lord. So this is what Kuma's daily routine, weekly routine is, so to speak. He's healing the elderly, taking their pains away. They're giving him praise. They're saying how we're so thankful to you, your parents. They raised such a good kid. We were so worried when they disappeared, but man, your dad would be proud to know that you're a pastor. Good on Clap, man. Clap raised a great son. So here we have Jenny. She comes out and she's berating the people because the people are asking, can you do this every day? Why just one day out the week? Do it every day for us. And he's like, no, you freeloaders. You don't pay for this service. He's doing this out the kindness of his heart, and you still want more? The people are shocked. Not really, but they're talking to themselves, amongst themselves. They're like, well, we want to do more. We want to do more and help more, but the new king, he just taxes us for this heavenly tribute, and we're barely surviving out here. And another guy chimes in, yeah, he treats his prisoners horribly as well. People have died in his prisons. And the king is eavesdropping all of this, and he has a rather pleased expression on his face. Like he's just, oh yes, keep complimenting me. And these are horrible things. But the people end up saying, yeah, if we could just keep working, if we weren't sick, we could work more and we could make more. And Kuma's like, well, just as long as you come back every week, I'll heal you guys. I'll take your sickness and your pain away. Minor injuries and sicknesses. We cut to later that night, and bless his heart, we see the Reverend taking on all the pain he has pushed out of these people, bearing it all upon his own shoulders. We see Guinea outside crying, listening to the agony that the Reverend is going through for the people. Ugh, beautiful. We cut again, and Jenny's nursing Kuma back to health, and she's like, these people don't know your pain. They don't know your suffering. All they doing is taking advantage of you healing them. They don't know what it takes for this to happen. And Kuma's like, well, it's what needs to be done. If I don't take this pain on, it'll just eventually go back to the person it belongs to. Somebody has to do it. Why not me? Just a great man, yo. Just a great man. And Kuma's like, I'll get stronger if I have to. I don't mean to worry you, Guinea, but this is just something I have to do. It makes me happy to help these people. And she's like, that's not really the point. And then Kuma, in order to distract her, is like, well, we have food, let's eat. She's like, yay, food. And they have a happy meal together. We cut 5 more years into the future. So 25 years ago. Kuma at this point is now 22. Guinea is 26. And the first thing we see is Guinea asking Kuma to marry her. She's like, marry me. Kuma's reluctantly like, no. And she's like, why not? Don't you love me? Don't I make you happy? Kuma's like, yes, of course I'm happy, but... And he trails off. And he starts thinking about his past. He starts thinking about what his parents had to go through and how his dad suffered and was begging for his mom and him to be let go. But they were all taken as slaves just based off the blood. The blood he had flowing in his veins. And the mom just being married in. And Kuma's like, I don't want to cause you any unhappiness in his head to himself. He's like, I don't want you to be unhappy. So it's at this point, Kuma changes the subject. He's like, hey, have you seen the news about this freedom fighters? You know, this guy named Dragon. He's leading these freedom fighters and freeing these countries and doing such great work around the world. He's my hero. I want to be like this guy. I want to go out in the world and help people. He looks up to Dragon, and this is good. This is good. I approve. You see another man doing good work for the people, and you, the Reverend, would like to do it as well. Good work. We then cut to 22 years ago. Kuma is now 25, Guinea is 29, and the king of the Sorbet kingdom has done something in order to make his kingdom more prosperous. He has cut the kingdom in half. Anyone on the north side of the island, next to the castle and in the upper towns, they are the Sorbet kingdom. The lower half of the island, where the old people villages are and the church that Kumo lives in, that is now a lawless region. That is no longer the Sorbet kingdom. Anybody that lives there is now free reign. If you live in the northern part, you can go down to the southern part and do anything you want with the people from there. Kuma gets wind of this. Some people are being taken from the southern part by the royal army. And Kuma's like, hey, you can't do that. What's going on? And the army's like, hey, haven't you heard? This whole place? It don't matter. We can do whatever we want to these people. Kuma's like, you want to make them slaves? I won't let you do it. And hits them with the Ursus shark. Fighting against injustice. Yes, Lord. But eventually Kuma, he is but one man. One God-fearing, godly man. But one man. And he is overwhelmed and thrown into the prison. And not too long after he's in there, Guinea and his two friends from childhood are also thrown in there. And he asked them, why are you guys here? And they're like, well, we got arrested and beaten up for trying to get you out. And Kuma talks to Guinea and he's like, they're turning this place into the place we escaped from. They're becoming just like the oppressors. And Guinea's like, yeah, it's an order from on high. And Kuma's like, I don't want this to happen to this country. But just as all hope seems lost, as he, the Reverend, feels like he is going to have to do this himself, the freedom fighters come a knocking on the door. Dragon and Evil have come, not only to free the Sorbet kingdom, but to recruit Kuma on the word of Ivankov. And as they are freed, Dragon, he says, hey, we're going to fight for what's right. Ivanka says, hey, if you're still the same as you were back then, come join us. Help us change the world. And that's exactly what they do. We cut to them being on the seas on the ship of the freedom fighters, and Dragon is explaining what they're all about. How right now they're nothing more than mercenaries helping countries gain their freedom. That they need more funding. That when people, if they want to join this army, they will be trained. They will be taught how to handle weaponry. And Kuma is asking, how do you have all this knowledge? How do you have all these skills? Dragon says, I was formerly a Marine, but when I was there, I found no justice. So I left, and I did my own thing. And Kuma says, I will follow you. And Dragon says, I won't make you regret it. W Mans. We then cut, and 8 more years has now passed. 14 years from present time. We get a short panel of Kuma returning to his home and how the people there would like for him to come back more often to see them. We then cut to the East Blue where we see Jenny is the Revolutionary Armored Eastern Captain. And they're talking amongst themselves with the troops in Guinea. And she's like, hey, yeah, I'm excited. They're like, hey, you seem excited, Captain. She's like, yeah, I'm excited. We're going to meet up with Kuma in the next couple of days. And we get an ominous figure just off to the side. Then we cut again and we get a call to Dragon, who now is sporting his face tattoo. And the call says, hey, Dragon, we're sorry. We were taken by surprise by the enemy. Guinea has been captured. And that is where we leave this chapter. On a hell of a cliffhanger, ain't it? You're going to have to tune in next week for the next chapter and the next Slyy Report. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more of this juicy, hot One Piece action. Thank you, and have a good day.